LeBron James. Now, everybody, again, and this is not just me.
An old
Everybody
monastery.
has
Impressive, isn't
legitimate resources within the NBA.
Pilgrim Sanctuary is an ancient
exactly
temple. Sir
Brian
and
Whitmore
Master Cordova chose it as a hidden
no
path
ifs,
safe house.
ands, or
We
buts
knew one day
about
the Empire would come.
Everybody knew
just
who he
not
was
so
referring
soon.
to, except one of the biggest shock jocks on YouTube, who also professes to have contacts, connects, and so-called connections into the NBA to where he gets this information. So we're here today to just kind of dismantle it, and not just dismantle it, but either to a certain degree.
Pilgrim's Crossing is on the other side of the desert.
How shock jocks operate and how they lie to create false narratives. Now, you see the title of the video. This is obviously Ticket TV. All right, he's the number two shock jock. All right,
we are nearly
we
there.
have listed
So,
out of
what
all
do you
of our
think?
shock jocks. So
Oh,
he titled his video, "Will LeBron James force a trade to the Knicks if LA loses?" All right, and so this was his response, and obviously this was his reaction to Brian Windhorst's statement. So what I'm going to do first, we're going to play a little bit of his thoughts on this statement that Brian Windhorst made. We're going to see the direction that he tries to go with it. Because this is what shock jocks will do. Shock jocks will try and lead you to believe that the things that they're saying are true. They will do everything in their power to lead you to believe that what they're saying is true until you ether them. And this is what has to be done. So again, the best thing about this situation is that we caught the shock jock in the act. So not just are we exposing who shock jock number 2 is, we're also exposing him in the act of being a shock jock. Let's go ahead. We're going to tune in. We're going to listen in live. We're going to listen in to see what he has to say about Brian Windhorst's statement with regards to a superstar player forcing a trade to the Knicks. Hey,
let's hope this spamble doesn't abandon us.
LeBron is going to force his way out. If they don't win the championship, they go to the Knicks. That the Knicks is getting better. He says that Brian Windhorst is LeBron's reporter, and he wants to trade to Windhorst.
Well fought, Beast. You remind me of home, you know. Were you hungry? Now you will feed the other creatures.
We were just talking about that shit today, and that slipped my mind. And you know what they were saying? They were talking about how Braun and Witchcraft had met up. And they had decided that him and CB3 or something was going to do that shit. Yeah, man. We were just talking about that shit. But I ain't really think about it until you just said something. But I still don't, like I said, man. Because Braun, he could have made that shit.
How many safe houses does the path have left?
I do not know. But I suspect there are not many.
Go on!
Enemy here!
You guys have it right there. Shock jock. Shock jock. Like craft in there. Like craft in there. And then they themselves around us. We're not essential things.
Hey, BD?
We all know this situation. Now, this situation told you guys, everyone knew exactly who Brian was referring to.
Damn.
I'm going to play you guys a short video clip about this. Because again, when I first heard this, I knew it was in reference to Devin Booker. Now, I knew it was in reference to Devin Booker. Do I believe it necessarily? No, I don't see Devin Booker as the type of player to force trade.
There's only the force.
He's more so the type of player that once his contract is up, maybe make a different decision then. He doesn't come off to me as the type of player that forces his way anywhere. Irregardless of how I feel about what he may or may not do, everyone in the community, when this statement came out, knew that this was Devin Booker. There were no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to take you guys to another clip to prove that. Everything and as much of that. So anything stemming off of this conversation should not involve any other players other than Devin Booker, because that's specifically who Brian Windhorst was referring to. And there were no other players specifically involved in that. He's the only other player that has the direct link. So let's go ahead and get to the video, just kind of debunking this particular narrative. And again, it's just this is what shock jocks like to do. They like to use, you know, whether it's LeBron James, in this particular case, obviously we know Ticket TV is a big time fan of LeBron James. He puts the name in all of his videos. For whatever reason, he also has some type of animosity towards the man LeBron James.
He likes it out
continually
there.
wants to denigrate his name.
Whoa.
Denigrate his name by making up myths and false narratives like
Come
this.
on.
Before I get to the next clip, you guys remember the situation before, how he came to our channel, how he misrepresented everything about LeBron James because he got a lot of bad information from Ticket TV. He ended up coming onto our platform and he made himself look like a fool. See, that's what happens. You walk around, you start absorbing, and then spewing out some of the things that shock jocks like Ticket TV. Okay, let's go ahead and get to this next one.
Look at the time that exists within the Knicks organization. You have guys like Leon Rose.
Steady now.
I'm seeing the agent representing that. How did Devin Booker beat Leon Rose? He came through the Mountain Kentucky Valley. Worldwide West, he mentioned very deep connection
There you have it right there. Jay Will, another basketball survivor. The guy who's deeply invested in and does a lot of Brian Whitworth, ESPN reporter. His job is more so to report the news as it is. Jimmy Williams,
Easy when the desert glitters with
he
ink.
can disseminate and give his thoughts and opinions on the news report. Which is why he makes the vocal ability about the way everything he says, for the most part, is his opinion leaning either way towards this player or that player or this player. That's what he does. So again, during this show right here, Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin, that's what they do on their morning talk show. They disseminate their thoughts and opinions about the news that's reported. Again, Brian Windhorst isn't in that position. So he's not in the luxury. He doesn't have the luxury of calling players and contact executive names out there where he gets his information. Now, as we stated on this channel, whenever executives or anybody reaches this type of anything, there's always some type of hidden agenda behind it. Our job to kind of break that down and kind of see through it. But at the end of the day, this is one of the easiest stories, especially if you have insight into the NBA. This is one of the easiest stories to really break down because it was no hidden secret who Brian Windhorst was talking about. He's talking about Devin Booker. Now, whether you choose to believe Brian Windhorst or not, only time will tell. But I think it's highly irresponsible. I think it's highly irresponsible to start attaching this particular story to players like LeBron James or any other player in the NBA. Right? And as you guys just heard in that snippet, you know, when you have a panelist on there making these eyeball connections between Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and LeBron James, and how this potential reunion of basketball players over 36 years old is going to happen in New York.
Of course.
I mean, at least here on FYF Sports, I wouldn't have let things go down that way, because my main thing is, if you say something, base it out of fact. Base it out of pure fact. Talking about the Banana Boat boys and any conversations made on that boat that you have no recollection or records of is going to get you either here on FYF Sports. And then to condone it, I think this is what labels you as one of the biggest shock jocks on YouTube. And you continuously, we all know this, Ticket TV continuously, day in and day out basis, finds a way to link any potential topic back to LeBron James in a negative way. That's the purpose of Ticket TV. There's no other purpose. Ticket TV is the gathering spot for LeBron James haters. And for those who feel opposite, it's entertainment. And so again, like I said, I don't mind if you label your show as comedy, fine. That's what it is, comedy. Don't label yourself as true and accurate news media when you're perpetuating opinions that everybody in the basketball community, with any type of networks or contacts, you know,
Here we go.
For example, I can give you guys an example. Months before Chris Paul came to me, I told Hitman that. I told him this behind the scenes before anybody else, before anybody thought to say Chris Paul. Now, everybody in real basketball circles, we all knew. Everybody behind the scenes, you were in any real basketball circle, the only destination for Chris Paul was two things. Why? Because as soon as the season ended, Chris Paul reached out to the Phoenix Suns. That was the only thing he was interested in going to. The Phoenix Suns luckily had two players that they needed to move.
Okay.
And Chris Paul would be there would be a seamless transition to make it happen with his contract. It was a perfect fit. But everybody in real basketball circles knew this. And I told this information to Hitman X, and when Hitman X told people, people laughed at him. People called him crazy. People said it wouldn't work. And now look at the Phoenix Suns, one of the top teams in the Western Conference, with Chris Paul leading the ship.
Yeah.
Be careful listening to shock jocks. People like Ticket TV, and again, this is not the first video. We've seen the eccentric, crazy predictions. You know, when you have a situation where some of your best friends on YouTube, LBZ, and they have to come ether you because you are being a shock jock. Instead of thinking, you just start saying things out of emotion. You start ethering yourself, and then there's at no point in time you wouldn't be. You know what? I would give somewhat of an exception if you actually came back and said, you know what, that information I reported was inaccurate. This is the accurate story. I have yet to see a time where you come back and do reasonable reporting. You say, you know what, I was inaccurate on that. This is what happened. Here's the true and accurate report on this particular topic. I'm going to correct that story. See, I keep telling you guys, this is what happens with shock jocks time and time again. Not just with Ticket TV, but if you look back on all of the biggest shock jocks across this whole series. Now, I've already said Stephen A. Smith is one. We got Ticket TV is the second one. What shock jocks do is they say things so quickly, so rashly. They come out with these eccentric claims, lies, and myths about things happening within the sports world, they say it so quickly. When it doesn't happen or doesn't pan out in their favor, it's hard for them to come back and say they were wrong, because then they would spend every other day, every other hour, recanting stories or recanting comments about things that they said were fact. We've seen Stephen A. Smith do it. We've seen Pickett do it. He does it on a daily basis. Saw him do it all throughout the playoffs last year. Like, you know, we saw how he predicted that the Portland Trail Blazers were going to beat the Lakers in the first round. We saw how he predicted that the Rockets would beat the Lakers in the next round. We saw how he predicted that the Nuggets would beat the Lakers. We saw how he jumped on the Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat bandwagon and predicted that they may potentially win, and you made every. We saw how he created false narratives about LeBron James wanting to win Finals MVP and stat pad. These are things when you continuously making fake topics and fake narratives up, all aimed at one player. That's what makes you a shock jock, because you have one agenda to denigrate LeBron James, of denigrating one single player. You have animosity.
This desert seems like it goes on forever.
Yes, it continues to surprise me.
We have to label you as a shock jock. Your credibility is zero. Your newsworthiness is zero. But your comedic value is at an all-time high. And I just hope that one day you come out and say this is simply comedy hour as opposed to news reporting and talking sports like a legitimate barbershop sports talk. Because there are too many things that are said over there that get swept under the rug and not eaten. You know, I don't know any other sports platform. There's not a lot of sports platforms. You can walk in the room and say LeBron James is a role player and not walk out getting heavily eaten. And I don't care if you walk in a room full of Michael Jordan fans. I don't care. I don't care if you walk in a room full of 100 people who hate LeBron James. If you're a sensible sports hater, some things just can't be
Easy,
said.
Fred.
Some things are so far off the wall that you just have to get eaten.
Speed up.
And just to top it off, don't censor your feelings. Because when people come on, you know, people want to come on and deepen you on certain topics. You censor their ability to deepen you by limiting what they can and cannot say. And if they don't say it in a fashion that you like, you block. That's what makes you a shock jock. You censor content. You see this with Stephen A. Smith can control the narrative on the things that he reports. The things that get out or come in. The things that he wants to respond to, the things that he can simply ignore. Shock jocks like to control things to that degree. And unfortunately, Ticket TV's been doing this over the last 4 to 5 years. Now, some say that at one point in time, just like Stephen A. Smith, he wasn't like this. It was sensible. It wasn't eccentric. It wasn't off the wall. But again, we say that there are multiple reasons why shock jocks develop and turn into shock jocks. It could be money. You know, some would say more donations start to pour into Ticket TV when the lies and the myths and the fake news on LeBron James starts to get perpetuated. Maybe that's the motivation to continuously do this on a day in and day out basis, thus affecting your credibility and quality of your content. So we see this with Stephen A. Smith. But there was a time when Stephen A. Smith was a reliable sports talking head. Whether you like him or whether you don't like him, you have to admit it. And with most shock jocks, this is how they always start. There was usually a time frame when they were reasonable, when they were logical, when they were trustworthy. And then they generally develop into this. Now, we expose Stephen A. Smith's reasons for potentially turning into a shock jock. When the ESPN ratings started to drop, when shows started to get canceled, when analysts were getting laid off left and right, then we started to see this eccentric change in personality and news that's
Sometimes everything out in the desert
and the
starts
same
to look
thing
the
is
same.
happening with all of the
You must
shock jocks
focus
that
on
we
what is
talk about.
different.
And this is number 2.
That is how you
But
will
you're
not
going to
get
see the
lost.
same pattern with all of the shock jocks that we talk about. They like to disseminate things in a fashion that galvanizes lies. Unfortunately, TV is labeled a shock jock. Number 2. You guys, let me know what you think about this. Because, again, I don't think to many this is a very big surprise. I think a lot of you guys knew that he would be on this list. And I'm sure, whether you're a fan of the channel or not, I'm sure you all can pull up scenarios where he's stated something as fact. I mean, Hitman X can tell you. You know, there was a when Ticket TV came out and reported Kyle Kuzma was 100% going to get traded to Phoenix with Devin Booker, but it never happened. But there was no follow-up story coming out saying we were incorrect on that reporting. This is what actually happened. No. See, shock jocks will say things in the midst of any particular situation to sound right, and when otherwise proven wrong, they will censor you. And as we know, Hitman X is now blocked from the platform, primarily because of things like that. And the same thing goes. People consistently eager to you and test and show and your credibility. When they start getting censored out, then you just do it in 30 minutes. And just, you see that S on your chest, and the S on your chest. When you say shock jock, we know what that S on your chest is. Guys like straight with Elder Rufus is one of the most respected he gets blocked and censored from the channel.
Oh my God.
Ron James conversation that's censored, trying to control the narrative. That was a big topic. So many things, so many people blocked, so many people censored, so many people's voices have been quit. And all you have to do is ask yourself why. And the reason why you have to ask yourself why, because the main thing, whether you're on ESPN or whether you're on YouTube, the main thing, we all thrive off of viewership. Whether it's viewers who love us or hate us, we all thrive off interactivity and engagement in the content. Whether people have positive comments, whether people have negative comments, whether they have likes or dislikes on the video, it's all considered engagement. And as someone putting media out there, it's all positive. You put a thumbs down on the video, it's positive. It's positive for the channel because it increases engagement. When you comment on the video, it increases engagement. When you comment in the live streams, this is all recorded. It's engagement in the video, and it helps. I'm not censoring anybody because you guys are the one that helped me drive these channels. So again, when you see a shock jock, especially shock jocks on YouTube, consistently trying to control the narrative by controlling the people that can have a voice around you. When you try to start censoring out people, remember, it's the people on YouTube that make these channels worth a damn. When you start censoring them, we have to look at you with a blind eye, because then we have to say to ourselves, is there another agenda that's going on? And the agenda that's going on here, obviously we know, is the odd, mysterious love affair, love/hate affair with LeBron James, for whatever reason, drives shock jock. You guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Let me know your thoughts on this particular subject or just any other situation. If you guys have a memorable moment where you exposed or you've seen like Is that better? Big J,
Careful.
let's talk.
There's danger
Salute,
nearby.
man. Salute for pulling up.
Together.
Big J, let's talk. Hold on, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. It should be good. All right, cool. Now, we got a topic today that it just needs to be discussed, y'all. It's something that people kind of beat around the bush on. You know what? It seems kind of entertaining to begin with. You know, the LeBron hate, the LeBron slander. I see that all over. I mean, I see different types of, in this sports world, sports fans are extremists. Sports fans, we got a subscriber, SFL. He's an extreme Kobe fan. I got no problem with that. Even though he does everything possible to denigrate LeBron, he's an extremist. He's an extreme Kobe fan. No problem with that at all. I understand it to us. That's what sports is. It's fanatical. This is what drives the sports world. This is what drives all the talk. But when it comes to Carcino, is there another agenda going on? That's the key question right there. Is there another agenda going on? I honestly believe so. And I think this situation, and I'm going to speak on a number of situations. I'm going to speak on all the situations that I've identified. I'm going to drop the link. We're going to bring everyone in to cook on it.
Let's go.
Maybe you guys have heard something from a different perspective. But the one thing that just kind of pushed it over the edge, where I had to sit back and say, oh, this ain't really about basketball. He's really trying to use his platform, not very effective. It's really small and minute in comparison to what LeBron James has. But he's really trying to use his platform to denigrate other black men that he doesn't like. And for whatever reason, I don't know why he has these types of feelings towards these men. I don't know why, but I think I know why he has these feelings, because generally his angst is turned towards people who like LeBron James. But if you look at this situation with Rich Paul, Nerlens Noel, look at the situation with Rich Paul, Nerlens Noel. Kwame Brown's made multiple videos doing his best to try to link LeBron James to this particular Nerlens Noel, Rich Paul civil dispute. And that's all it is. It's not a legal matter. It's not about fraud. It's just a financial civil dispute, which happens with businesses every single day in life. Whenever there's a dispute financially between businesses, you're either going to be dealing with arbitration or some type of civil case. That's just what happens. That's just part of the business world. And then you allow a judge to determine what's fair and what's not. But when this case came up, I said, why are you trying to push this narrative that LeBron James is behind the scenes setting this up? He made the assertion that LeBron James told Rich Paul not to allow Nerlens Noel to sign with Philly because it would make Philly.
Thank you so much, Taylor. So the cap for this PK is actually $200,000.
Vito. Introducing Chipotle's new Chicken Al Pastor. It's where fire meets flavor.
Pilgrim Sanctuary. Temple. We protect.
Pick it up. It won't be easy when the desert cleared the mix.
Then people deal with them.
Slow down now. We're still hunting. There?
Yes. We must
At any impact.
came across someone.
Okay.
Phillies.
What's up, Mom?
Strong. If they met the finals, there's no way. Okay, I can understand that to a certain extent. But it's just like right now, so when you say things like that, you're basically saying that the business that Rich Paul has created now working for 29 NBA. This is a real business, much more. He's now elevated himself to be the third-ranked sports agency in the NBA. Something that a lot of sports agencies struggle to do. He relegated clutch sports to simply being a pawn tool. That Brian James manipulate players away from certain teams. Now you have African American, black man, who's out here and built up one of the biggest sports. We do all that complaining about white people, right? As soon as you get a black agent, a black owned agent taking care of their business, you try to find ways to hold their pamphlet. You never find ways to try to big this business up. All right? And the funny thing is, Rich Paul, there are other black agents in the NBA. There are other black agents in the NBA. But Rich Paul, what LeBron James has done, is they've started their own. LeVar Ball talks about ownership. Any player can go sign with a shoe company and have their own so-called shoe. Can you build your own brand from the ground up? And you bring all that income in. You're not an employee. You're a business owner. Why now, just because we see a civil dispute between agent and player, why now is Rich Paul and LeBron, they're the two biggest frauds in the according to Carcino, they're the two biggest frauds in the NBA because of one single lawsuit. One single lawsuit. Funny, huh? Funny how that is. Funny how that is. Because the last time I checked, I can give you guys a situation with a white agent in the NBA, Bill Duffy, who's actually still working in the NBA. Y'all remember Anthony Carter for the Miami Heat? When Bill Duffy was working with so many clients, he forgot to call the Miami Heat and tell them, oh yeah, Anthony Carter's opted in for that $4.1 million. He forgot to call them. The Miami Heat take advantage of it, right? They canceled the contract because the agent didn't opt in like the player wanted. They go sign Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom ultimately ended up being one of the pieces that they used. Here we go. Miami capitalized on the agent. But you don't hear the Carcinos. You don't hear all of these small black people. All that these white agents who mess up and cost these players millions. Bill Duffy cost Anthony Carter. The guy who really wasn't making a lot of money in the league cost $4.1 million over a mistake. Right now, currently, there are 125 NFL and NBA combined. There are 125 civil cases between players and agents Only 3 of those cases involved black agents. One was Rich Paul, one that at former agency that he was dealing with when they trained when he was underage. The rest of them are all lawsuits with white agents and black men. But Marcino has taken 0 time to point out all of those other agents, all of the other agents. Jeff Ford is in the middle of like 6 different civil cases. Jeff Ford is the biggest agent in the NBA. Combined with the NBA, he's dealing with 6 civil cases between players. Marcino's never spoken on that. Those cases have much more damning allegations than what you see in this situation. Right? We got a fine agent by the name of Austin Brown. He also has 29 clients, just like Rich Paul. Carcino never picks up this brother. This brother works for CAA. He has 29 clients, bringing in close to $270,000 in contracts. Great agent, Austin Brown. All right. Why does Austin Brown not get accused of steering these players to different places? This is that connection to LeBron James. See, in the situation with LeBron James, it doesn't work. Really look at it. The situation with LeBron James doesn't work because there's really nothing LeBron James can do right to keep Carcino's spot. And this is where it starts to really get ugly for him and really starts to expose his hate, not for LeBron James, but his hate for successful black people. Because there's more situations to come. How about the situation with Max Kellerman and Steve Nash? He speaks on this situation as if, because this is a situation publicly being talked about, that Stephen A. Smith is the one that forced Max Kellerman out because he didn't feel like he was the right person. You have a black media figure finally with enough power to push out the white co-host because he doesn't believe in play. It used to be flip-flop roles. It used to be the white sport and blacks out that shit. Now we have Floyd to ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, whether you agree with his basketball team, he's at a stage in his career where he has the power to tell ESPN, Max Kellerman got to go. That's
sometimes I wonder if destroying the holocron had any impact.
Respects him so much, they said, you know what? This is Stephen A. Smith, a black man, the best that we got.
And the Empire still
we got to bring something in that's going to work.
Just so. We must protect those we can.
As opposed to looking at it from that aspect, we finally have a black figurehead in the media with some power. Regardless of what you believe with his basketball thing, he's done something that no other black media figurehead has done in sports. He now has the power to hire and fire and bring people in. The person that Stephen A. Smith, who's the person that Stephen A. Smith is looking to bring in? Another black. He's replacing the white host who really didn't come in as a basketball or NBA guy. He just kind of transitioned into it. They're bringing in a black. He wants to bring in another black coach. But yet, Carcino's spending time talking about. I'm looking at his comments. He's allowing this stuff to be said. He literally has people in his comments saying Max Kellerman is more black than Stephen A. Smith. He's pushing that narrative, that fake narrative that Max Kellerman is more black than Stephen A. Smith, so you would much rather have Max Kellerman there, and you want to push Stephen A. Smith out. He's pushing to see black men fail. Successful black men that have said anything positive about LeBron James, he wants them to fail. All right, we see the Cappy Pondexter situation. He's been trying so desperately hard to connect LeBron James to this situation. As if the FBI is not good enough at their job. The last time I checked, the FBI was excellent at their job.
Not missing with this.
Those allegations that Cappy Pondexter made, if there was any semblance of truth to them, I would believe that the CIA, FBI, somebody would have already cracked down on it and got them people up out of there. Yet he's sitting there trying to do the job of the CIA and FBI, trying to connect dots, saying that LeBron James has something to do with Cappy Pondexter really getting kidnapped. Then we got Kendrick Perkins. He gets on Kendrick Perkins. Nobody in the sports world like Kendrick Perkins. Not because he's Kendrick Perkins. As a person, he's probably cool. His basketball takes is kind of weird. They kind of lopsided sometimes. They're here and there. That's basketball. But when you start to attack Kendrick Perkins personally, just because he supports, because he supports LeBron James, he doesn't let people just kind of shit on his legacy basketball wise. So now you want to tear him down as well. You're talking about a Kendrick Perkins who, in all reality, should not have a job working for any media company. He doesn't have the credentials. He doesn't really even speak that well. Because he's an NBA player, possibly because he's affiliated with LeBron James, he now has that job. These are the opportunities, the way these athletes are getting these jobs, these are the opportunities that we've been dying for. When are we going to get the connections to get these jobs? When are we going to be able to come in, maybe a bit underqualified, but our connections get us these jobs? We've been seeing it happen in all of these other businesses our entire life. Now when we see athletes connected to other players, when they retire, they're getting these media jobs. Of course they're going to have some type of positive affiliation with LeBron James if it's that relationship that helped get them into the media, that media job. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be trying to connect each other in, plug. When you retire, no, I don't want you to go broke and splurge your millions away. Not like Kwame Brown. Now he has a $30,000 debt with Bank of America that he had to get put on a payment plan to pay.
These are all overseers' base.
Yes.
We don't want to see our athletes going in the league making $69 million, and then you default on a $3,000 loan to Bank of America. Now you got to fight Kwame Brown and you got to get on a payment plan to pay Bank of America. We don't want to see our athletes doing that. I want to see these guys get jobs in the league, sign some contracts, make a few millions off these media companies, all right, and continue to give their look. What these guys say about basketball, nobody really cares. It's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball. But you turn your hate. You start saying things like LeBron James, if he wins, it's because the refs cheated for him, the league cheated for him, and the league and clutch reporters manipulated teams. And if he loses, he's the worst player in the world. Oh, he's sad. He's no good.
The safe house is in there.
Yes. The temple is abandoned.
Let's talk about
and well fortified.
Let's talk about
perfect place to hide from the Empire.
Because,
so we thought.
I was talking
We'll
to
find
somebody
Barbara
yesterday on
Armaeus.
another channel.
I hope so.
And I said we need to just stop.
We will take the back route.
It
is the
It's
fastest
just
way.
a business disagreement. That's all it is.
That looks like
That's
trouble.
what happens.
At
And
least
when you
there's
start to settle, you know what? I'm proud that you have two black brothers. As opposed to what we normally see in the past. People want to pull out guns and knives, or if you listen on Ticket TV, people saying they're going to pull up on each other. Especially these guys doing all that extra bullshit. That's the real thing. They handle it like real business.
Throw it.
That's what real business.
Please.
That's how you know special forces is real business. All right, I'm talking about that. But here we also get players. Instead of speaking on how these black
nasty things.
Did you find the way to Tanzbar?
Not yet. But we found some devices from the High Republic. Master Cordova's inspecting them now.
Seer and her master are quite the pair. They've been a vital asset to the path since they joined us.
Did you come across any other Jedi on your travels?
No, Cal. If I had, I would have contacted you.
Thank you.
And sometimes you have to sort of look at Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson signed with an agent when he was 17 at Duke. And then he came to find out when he got to the pros that the agent that he hired didn't know what the hell she was doing. But he had a contract with her. Did he run out and start threatening her? We'll beat your ass if you don't let me out. No, he didn't do that. He handled it the right way. What did he do? He took it to court, showed the federal judge. Federal judge says that that contract is null and void. Go ahead and get us out of it. Go sign with somebody that he gets to work with. He's always pointing out the black businessmen, the people that uplift the community, the people that bring in value back to the community. Stephen A. Smith. I don't care about his basketball takes. When I look at what he's doing in media, that's a great example. The kids are trying to get into that lane. Not every kid can be
I will slow their progress. We'll regroup near the temple.
All right. Some kids only gonna grow up to be 5'2".
Yourself out there.
I'll be
They
doing the
might
watching.
be a great TV personality.
Just you and me again.
Understanding how Stephen A. Smith did it, some of the things that he did, understanding his background, can help some of them kids get there. But instead, you want to push that he's a cool. You want to push that some of the things he says is whatever. You want to try to denigrate just because he might like LeBron James a little. And you do the same thing with Andrew Perkins. You don't boost him up and give him his proper recognition. You shit on him because he likes LeBron James. Or because he has
Buddy,
help. LeBron James. You got to elevate, raise the psychiatrist, the people that actually need mental health, like Kathy Tarnberg. People who really need some type of psychological treatment. Give them some type of sense of credibility when they come out with some wild allegations that I was actually kidnapped from Brian James. You want to give credibility to that. You don't boost up anything.
This guy looks hungry.
Then you run around and say you for this community. How is you for this community? I just want to know. How is you for this community? You've never talked about Austin Brown, one of the biggest black agents in the league, who, by the way, also has dealt with 2 civil cases with players because it happens in business. But you know, there's a reason why they're doing this. You know, when you're going out of your way, bringing up these stories, you know what? Rich Paul is trying to get his players out of Philadelphia. You know why? Because Daryl Morey has a poor reputation around the league in regards to negotiating in bad faith with his players, right? With other teams. And a lot of teams. Remember last year, the Rockets didn't even want to talk with him about a James Harden trade. Not because they were mad that he left and went to Philly, because he negotiates in bad faith. He does bad business. Yes, I would want to get my players out of there. And I would say, if you guys start to act right, we are not going to continue to push our players over the end because you're dealing and operating in bad faith. That's what you're supposed to do as an agent. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, just because an agent recommends it, don't mean it's locked in stone. Tim Duncan was underpaid his whole career. Why? Because he told it. What did he tell his agent? I don't care about the money. I'll negotiate my NBA contract. Just give me some off the court money. I just want to make enough in the league to be comfortable, and so this team can always be competitive. I don't want to take all the teams. Tim Duncan said that. The agent didn't have to. Tim Duncan said, I got it. Ray Allen negotiated all of his contracts. You don't need an agent. You don't need an agent. All right, when we saw Bobby Portis, what did Bobby Portis do? Bobby Portis, he told his agent what? I know you went and got me some big deal, but I have some loyalty here in Milwaukee.
Careful not to touch anything here. Don't want to wake the dead.
Money to stay here. The agents in these situations have
Loaded
really
to the very
little to no
end.
power.
But to what
The way
cost?
Carcino talks, he talks as if LeBron James and Rich Paul have power that's shaping and controlling the league. When they're not even the biggest agencies. And they have one lawsuit, right? But he hasn't mentioned he didn't talk about the lawsuit that he had. One of the top agents, a white guy, told a black woman, an employee, he said, you're only here because you come back. Do your job. They're facing a lawsuit for sexual harassment, discrimination, CAA. Did he talk about that? Did he bring that to light? Did he call those agents out? Is he trying to blackball the thing and push out the league so they don't deal with any more black agents? No, he hasn't brought it up. He doesn't care. Told you, over 125 active civil suits going on right now, and they talk about one. And it's just funny. I want y'all to do this, y'all. Go look at, because I don't know if this is going to hit home with him, and I don't want him to strike the video, so I'm not going to play any of his videos. But look at all the titles of his videos. He gets all his stories from the back pages and clutch points. He goes to the depths and depths of clutch points. Because clutch points has a back
Store's
page.
not budging.
It's basically the National Enquirer of sports. And he brings that to the light as fact. You go to the back pages of clutch points, the depths of clutch points, pulling up fabricated stories stories that are only written just to bring viewership in during the off season, and you bring it to us as if it's fact, or you bring it to us as if you have some type of insider contact that lets you know what was going on. But literally every prediction, you get every prediction wrong. You get every trade prediction wrong. You get all this stuff wrong about the league, and yet you still credible basketball.
Nice.
You normally weren't a basketball guy. Normally we're just into rap and hip hop stuff. I don't know when you transitioned over to basketball and wanted to start this LeBron James hate campaign. But I think it has something to do with your hate for seeing other black men succeed outside of the game. LeBron James does what? LeBron James is now a billionaire. Why? Because he succeeded off the court. His businesses are booming. Everything he touches turns to gold. Even the partners around him, their businesses are booming. Rich Paul, his sports agency is impeccable now.
Back to Pilgrim Sanctuary.
The jealousy in this situation is amazing. I would love for Carcino to pull up and actually hop on here and have a conversation with me, because I like for people to try to defend themselves. I love for people to defend themselves. If I'm getting spoke on, I do my best to go pull up on other people to have that conversation. I did why shy away from it. Yeah, but for KHTV, not all news.
Come on, Lisa's. Did you really wake up looking like this? Smoking.
Oh, how'd you get involved with the hidden path? This guy looks hungry. I need to clear my mind.
All news is meant to be reported. There's a reason why I haven't spoken on Steph Curry's parents' divorce situation. Right? It's the same reason why I don't speak on anybody's, especially. Not these divorce situations where we know little information, and 99% of the information that gets through to us is probably false. So I'm not going to be part of this slander campaign trying to tear down those two who are divorcing for whatever reason, and then try to throw Steph Curry in the middle of it somehow. No, there's some stories that just need to be off limits in this community. When you talk about this Rich Paul situation, if you haven't discussed the lawsuits with other agents and some of the other damning allegations that these white agents are actually facing right now, why are you bringing up the Rich Paul situation? Why? That's what I want to know. Why are you bringing up this situation? If you're not talking about these other white agents who are dealing with more damning allegations, some criminal allegations, you haven't done no research on those situations. And when Rich Paul gets into a financial disagreement with Nerlens Noel, oh, now he's committing fraud. He's doing the business ain't no good. The business is only being used to move players around so LeBron can win a chip. So basically, now you're illegitimizing a black business just because you don't like it. Yeah, and this is the problem. We have too much in the black community. This is why black businesses have the highest sales in the United States. Because we don't allow business. All started up his own business. You know what? I did not hear white people running around talking about I'm not getting my shoes. I ordered my stuff. I got everything. Other people running around stuff on ball. I didn't get mine. Oh, you didn't? I got mine. You place your, people will lie and say they placed orders just to say they didn't get these stuff. Just because they want to shit on the ball and tear down their business. People lying. You know what? Let's say you didn't get your shoes. All right. Call my bank up. Hey, can I file a chargeback? I didn't get my order. Can I get that money back? All right, you'll have your money back tomorrow. That's how simple it is. No scanning. If you didn't get your stuff like you said, which is wrong. Or you complain about the prices being too high. People will complain about the prices being too high, but they go buy Gucci. They'll complain about LeVar's shoe prices being too high. Then they wear designer gear that belongs to white companies. Orsino's one of those guys. He does not support black businesses. He tears down black businesses. He actually will support white businesses. He will actually hide this information. Right? Just so he can think of the back of any business. He does his best to connect things that have nothing to do with LeBron, and then flip it and turn it into something negative. He tries to take the fact that LeBron James took control of which is called player empowerment. He tried to tell us that LeBron James was the league because he put player empowerment in. Now these players are thinking about not just their careers, they're also thinking about their money and putting themselves and their families in the best city and situation. He's explaining to these players, if you play in this state right here, they gonna get you with this, this, and this happening. You only make it $5 million a year. You only gonna see maybe 1.2 of that 5 if you play in this state. Maybe if you only make it $5 million a year, he's advising these players, maybe you want to go try and play in one of these states. Right? Because he's teaching them financial literacy. But see, these are the things Carcino don't talk about. He tries to disguise and use the basketball arguments. But then if you listen to him talk long enough, he's really trying to tear down the businesses that these black men are running. He's trying to, there's some type of jealousy connected to the power that they have. And we know there's jealousy. We know there's jealousy. This is a guy that ran around talking about that he could have dated, said that he could have dated Beyonce. This is a man that said out of his own mouth he could have dated Beyonce. He got bashed by his own subscribers for saying, you envy these successful black men. They have access to things that you don't. Facts. It's all facts. This is no lie. Nothing's made up. Everything's documented on this channel. Everything is documented. Every video title that you see here, if it doesn't relate directly to Kwame Brown, it can tie right back to a Clutch Points article. Honestly, I don't shy with it. If there's an interesting topic on Clutch Points, I'll discuss it, but I'm not going to discuss it as fact. I'm not going to take it, manipulate it, and flip the story and start trying to tear down other black men and black businesses. I'm just going to keep it sports. When you try to take these fictional stories and you try to manipulate people as if you have something.
4 pieces of chocolate, 3 wafers, 2 layers of filling.
Man, you got too many puzzles.
You clear my mind.
Buddy, over here. Stuck the landing.
Some type of hidden contact within the league that you know for sure LeBron James is doing all this dirty stuff. We're going to drop the link, man. I won't get everybody's thoughts on this. Because, you know what? I'm just going to keep it sports. When you try to take these fictional stories and you try to manipulate people as if you have some type of hidden contact within the league that you know for sure LeBron James is doing all this dirty stuff. We're going to drop the link, man. I won't get everybody's thoughts on this. Because, you know what? Sometimes just sticking to entertainment, bro. If you're going to come over into the sports world and you're going to get toxic and you're trying to tear down what these players are doing, especially business-wise, just because you don't want to see LeBron James win, or you don't want to see Rich Paul and Clutch Sports win, you want to see these white agencies win. You want to see CAA win, right? He wants to see. That's what he wants to see. He wants to see these white-owned sports agencies win. All right. I think he wants to see Excel Sports win. Excel Sports is the second largest agency in the NBA and the NFL. Is it priority sports? Like, whose pockets are you? Are you? Do they got your own payroll or something? Because we know that some of these other sports agencies have been watching the rise of sports, and they've also allowed jealousy to start coming out their mouths towards sports. Whose pocket is Carcino in? Where every time Clutch Sports comes up, he's trying to tear it down. All I see is a thriving black business. That's all I see. What's wrong with a thriving black business? And the funny thing is, nobody contests him on these points. Nobody will ask him these questions, because now he's creating a club, hateful people who hate LeBron.
Constant Contact's AI tools help you know what to say, even when you don't.
Who hate LeBron James, and now he's just giving them all of this junk garbage. LeBron James has a lot of good examples you can take from.
Looks like
you don't like the
scroll.
on-the-court stuff.
Can't imagine
you don't like the switching team stuff. At the end of the day, that's all basketball. Who cares? Ooh, LeBron James switched teams.
Better catch up.
Well, LeBron James is stacking his team. Who cares? It's a game. It's a game. The NBA is a game. Well, LeBron James, he traded Kyle Kuzma.
Map of the region. There's Pilgrim Sanctuary across the bridge. Wonder what those markers mean.
I bet you Kyle Kuzma's bank account don't still get traded because he's still making the same money. When the 1st and 15th come around and them big deposits come in, he's still pretty well
Brace
off.
yourself, BD.
Kyle Kuzma's going to be okay.
This remind you of
all the
Zeppo, too?
players that were involved in trades that people say were connected to LeBron, well, if you go ask all of those players about the 1st and 15th every month, I think they're all going to tell you, yeah, I'm pretty good. It's a business. These trades happen. 1st and 15th come around, tells me that every time. This is why all of these players are still
Can't make that.
Whether they got traded off this team or not. All these relationships are still strong. LA Sports Live, and that's probably true as well. But at the end of the day, he's not costing these players money.
You ever heard anything
actually
like that
showing
before?
these players how to get more money.
Almost like music.
On and off the court. But he gets no props for that. He just gets, especially like I like Carcino. Because Carcino, you can tell, he has a business acumen to a certain degree. So he should understand some of these things. He has a solid business acumen. But the fact that he's not talking about these things, the fact that he's not expressing some of these things, look, if he hates LeBron on the court, talk about that. But don't take your hate for LeBron and also turn it into hate for black men. Because it's starting to leak out all over the place. And now we can easily catch up in a lot of your lies and stories that you can bring up. Weird. I gotta pull up some of these things. Hold on, we're about to drop it up here.
They were waiting on a shuttle.
That's just like,
more on the way.
What? Like, why are you speaking on these things if you don't know what it's about? Here, I got something for you right here. And as I do this, I'm going to be dropping the link. All right. So earlier today, he was talking about Paul Millsap signing with the Brooklyn Nets. Did you guys hear the angle in? Well, he says, hey guys, he says, you know who caused this? He said, this was LeBron James, Paul Millsap, Michael Jordan. He said, I said, what? I said, LeBron James is the reason why. Like, what type of player are you looking at Paul Millsap? The last time I checked, Paul Millsap was on the Denver Nuggets struggling to get off the bench, getting outplayed by other guys like Michael Porter Jr. What? Now Paul Millsap signing with the Nets is a power move that's gonna push them over the edge. But yeah, he connected that to LeBron James. Hate for LeBron. Hate for what LeBron has done for this league. Hate for his retirement. Hate for how he's taught these players financial literacy. I hate it. He links this move of letting them leave. Paul Millsap. It's LeBron James' fault. He said LeBron James' fault. Max Kellerman officially leaving first take. He's blaming Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith has the power of black man in the media. He sees that his partner. Nobody cares to watch first take. It's not really that good of a show. Everybody knows Max Kellerman is a boxer. He's a boxer. He's never a basketball player. He struggled his entire time in first take. He struggled with a lot of those basketball and football opinions. It was time for Stephen A. Smith to say, let's move on. Let's bring somebody else in that fits the role better. Our ratings are getting fucked up. But as opposed to celebrating the fact that a black man in the media has that much power, what do? Oh, now, Stephen A. Smith is a fool. No, he's not shaking. He just got a motherfucker up out of there. That's what happened to me. It's probably similar like Carcino. When he was in high school, he probably got cut from his high school team because he didn't cut it. Next video, does LeBron James have too much leverage in the league? How is that a bad thing? Players in the 90s would have loved to go get a time machine and use some of LeBron's strategies to get more leverage in the league. There's a lot of those players from the 90s that's sitting at home broke right now because I have no problem with a black athlete having enough leverage to do what he wants in this league. Why does that upset you? Oh, does it upset you because LeBron James is actually good and every team that he touches has a chance to win the title? Breaking news: Rich Paul wants his clients away from the Sixers. Yes, that has not been a secret. It's not a secret in the league. If you have any NBA context at all, it's never been a secret in the league that people try to dissociate themselves from Daryl Morey. That's been a fact for like the last 3 years. But now he tries to use it just to tear down. He's trying to use this instead of talking about Daryl Morey and some of Daryl Morey's shady practices behind the scenes. White man in this league, he's using
what kind of pilgrims
to talk
came
about
out here
Rich
anyway?
Paul and try to make it seem like Rich Paul.
Imagine crossing these gales just to find a safe place.
But ask him about Daryl Morey and some of Daryl Morey's shady practices. He can't tell you a lick of news about that. He runs around with Carcino talking about agendas. I mean, if the only agenda I see going on is right here. It's right in front of our eyes. Y'all go look. All y'all gotta do is go look. Compare some of these titles to what you see on the back page of the Clutch. It's called Clutch Points Editorials. Just go check it out. Go look at Clutch Point editorial stories and compare them to his stories. That's his source. That's his point of reference. No real context in the league. No real people who doesn't know any trainers, doesn't know any agents, who doesn't have any knowledge of what agents actually do. I'm in school to potentially be an agent. I'm working on my master's in sports marketing and management. I actually have somewhat of an idea of what agents do. Starting to study the NBA bylaws and things like that. Not that I'm going to be an agent, but it's just good information to have if you want to know this field. And he has no knowledge on these things, no real context that he can actually mention. You know, everybody that I communicate with, everybody that, when I tell you that when I told Hitman X that Chris Paul was coming to the Suns months before it happened, I told him who my source was. Just to give some credence to it. And then it happened. I think it's in the chat, man. I see a lot of new people in the chat, man. Let's pull up, man. Let's get a good conversation in on this because this is bigger than
Mary mentioned
just
this was the
LeBron
background,
James.
right?
This is
Sears got another way for these refugees. They've been through enough.
About protecting black business. We got too many people taking every chance they get to tear down black businesses. I wonder why black businesses in this country have the highest fail percentage is because of people like Garcia.
That should give us some
He would
cover.
much rather take his money to a white-owned business, which, if that's what you want to do, feel free to go ahead and do it. But he would rather support the others and not his own. He finds ways. I want y'all to tell me right now. Somebody tell me right now one legitimate black business that he supports. Did he support the Barbala brand, or did he try to tear it down? Did he buy? I bought a big Baller brand shirt. I actually got a hoodie and a t-shirt. I didn't ask no questions about the price. I said I'm going to go. But see, we can say, because, you know, we can say support black owned businesses, say it, but are you really doing it? Because your real intentions start to come out when I see shit like this. You talking about flush points and all this. Real intentions start to come out then. You can fake like you're doing it. You can say you're doing it. You can say you're doing stuff behind the scenes, but then you open your mouth. We got Citizen Lou, Hugh, Keith Cunningham, guys, Social. First, God, thanks for pulling up, man. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I want to really stick to this topic. I don't want to get too far off topic. I really want to get on this subject. We can start with Lou. He was in here first. What are your thoughts on this, man? Do you think he's doing a disservice to black businesses, black ownership, black athletes are continuously just trying to tear down every black business associated with LeBron James just because he doesn't like him as a player?
Yeah, son, you got some background, bro. But, hey, you're right. Hey, Lamar, I had to come over here, bro. You hear it? Hey, dog, bro, you know, bro, you can see dude like last 4 years. You know that dude, that Randy Booker, the Ricky stuff?
Yeah, RB.
Yeah, RB. Yeah, y'all remember when he was hating on him? He was talking about this Casino said, but he said that because RB, the truth about the title, him and T just said, oh, y'all, this hate ass niggas, they were just going in, making the fellow videos, trying to tear the man channel down, telling everybody to flag and shit like that. Number two, I asked this nigga,
all clear.
Carcino's also a super hater of BJ activities. I don't really like BJ activities like that, but the hate he has BJ activities about it. This man said, I asked this man, I said, bro, why do you believe in academics? But you'll never say that about black. And he said, he told me this. He said, Vlad is at least putting out good content for the industry. That's what he told me. I can pull up the string. I couldn't believe he said this. So, and then it's one more about something I was Red, RB, these academics. And he ain't pretty much everything. He always, on the side of the loser niggas and shit like that. I can't stand this shit, bro. It's just, I'm glad somebody with a platform probably calling the dudes out on this nonsense. But I agree with you, bro. He don't ever support anybody black. If you black and outside of the realm of what you think you need to be doing, he gonna tear you down and make a whole bunch of videos about you. And he just a hater.
Yeah. I tell people it's hard when you have your own business and you're black. And you look at Rich Paul, look at the field that he's in. He's dealing with white businessmen every day. He's probably dealing with more things behind the scenes than we could ever imagine. And then on top of that, for me to look on the internet and know what black businessmen have to deal with, on a daily basis, and then I have to look up and see Carcino tearing down this man's whole business. I mean, to start a business like that, you gotta have business plans, you gotta have the right investments, you gotta have the right people in place hired. I mean, you gotta do so many things right to be at that level of success. To have a sports agency, and you come back and say, this entire business is a sham. It's only thing you to help LeBron James win more championships. Basically accusing him of stealing money from other players, costing them money, and doing this. It's like, what are you talking about?
Visit my comeback. Start yours at global.edu.
think it's right here. Oh, no, yes. Yes. There we go. Wait, where do I go?
Calm down. That's just a wind. I don't know which is worse, these winds or the... I swear, if I hear desert ghost one more time...
Aaron's been keeping busy. Why didn't the Empire give us a nickname? I'm glad we found this. Hear that, buddy?
Where was I? My fault, I can't send a text message.
Yeah, definitely Marin's work.
Try to kill the weaker ones. Yeah.
Stormtroopers weren't ready for these conditions. And it doesn't hurt to have a desert ghost on our side. Maybe the wind's turning in our favor for once.
Granted, Stormtrooper was on my side.
Force of nature, huh? Onwards, traveler. Cross over. Cross over to what? Breathe.
Go check on the new unit. It's not... Can't track him! What? I hope that hurt.
Over here, BD. Empire brought a new toy.
Sustaining damage. Enemy injured. Attack.
That one doesn't play nice, huh, BD?
Oh my god. Another puzzle.
It's easy to get knocked off course around here. Let's move carefully.
Hostile agent detected.
Marin's watching out for us, buddy.
Where's our shuttle? We gotta clear out before excavation reaches that temple. They're dispatching another. I wanna have a front row seat with the trails of big guns.
Hey, BD-1!
Taking a break? Do you think he's afraid of me? Someone? Anyone? Help?
That'll give us a boost. Back to it.
There's not enough of us at this post. You make do. Weapons on him!
Hurry up, buddy.
What was that? Gonna take a look around. Someone else get in here. I hit him! Why did I do that? Make him hurt! Hit him! After! Watch yourself! Nice hit! Why'd you do that? Okay, I got it. This was not the plan! I'm not giving up. Prepare yourself! I'll take you out myself.
I need some help.
Come now, you can make it.
I'm Cal. This is BD1.
I'm Peely. Didn't expect to see any pilgrims today.
What are you doing out here?
Tending to what I can, but very little grows here, as you can see.
You should check out the Kobo system. Everything grows there.
Sounds lovely. Perhaps I will.
Just tell the bartender at Pylon Saloon I sent you. He'll get you set up. This is an odd place for a garden.
I've been feeling rather aimless. So like the pilgrims, I came to find a new direction. When I came across these struggling seeds, I had to tend to them.
I'm amazed anything grows out here.
Life is stubborn like that, I suppose. I know this effort was futile, but it is my duty.
Give me a second. This leads up to the bridge. A botanist in the desert. She must have been really lost. Best we can find her way.
You said the ghost is here? Someone spotted her in the vicinity. No matter. Ghost or not, I'd like to see something go toe-to-toe with Salt Ground. I see you. All of you watching. I'm firing. Confirmed. Converge on the target. I won't let...
Stim! Something about that rock formation looks familiar. Check it out. The bridge to Pilgrim Sanctuary. Look at this. Great find.
I know this effort was futile, but it is...
Pardon.
I'm gonna take 5.
I need a break.
Empire. That'll give us a boost. This leads up to the bridge.
I did not know I could do that.
I could use a break.
Yeah, exactly. I could use a break.
Breathe.